turn the F around, Kristen, and look at these goddamn whales or dolphins. And then finally, yeah, he did it and he dropped to a knee. And I was like, yeah, it's happening.
But it is funny that Kristen almost missed her proposal by taking her time and not wanting to shower and then literally sitting on his duffel bag, like sitting on the ring. Like Princess in the mother pee right there. Luckily could not feel the ring underneath her butt. She made her own drama of like getting to that finish line. Like she had no idea how hard she was making it for everybody.
I really felt like I was on the boat trying to get it all to go smoothly with them. It slightly melted. It defrosted my cold black heart. We gonna stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way. Hey.
Aloha, everybody.
Welcome to the Maui. To come in.
Well, I would say instead of Valley time, it's Maui time.
Yeah, that works too. I just sound like a baby trying to sound out words.
Yeah, you do.
Maui.
Oh, well, time to go to Hawaii. I love Hawaii. It's so great. It's so relaxing.
Yeah. Theirs looks relaxing so far. I mean, I associate it with like my first time with very party. So, like as a teen. This is much more mature. We're talking engagements here.
My trips to Hawaii have all been mature trips. I went on 2 breakup trips and then 1 wedding. And one of those breakup trips was like a forgetting Sarah Marshall trip. But it happened about 1.5 years before that movie came out. And that movie came out, I was like, fucking Jason Segel stole my life. What the fuck? Like, apparently I'm not special or original.
Mine, in a pattern that would repeat itself over and over to this day, I somehow fell in with this group of girls from Newport Beach. Like cool girls. And they had smuggled some stuff. We had, it was just like, it was my own little, what's that show, Laguna Beach? It was around that time. And I just kept going with that kind of climbing and bad behavior. Here I am today.
So on brand for both of us.
Aloha.
Oh man.
As we should.
This was like, yeah. I mean, this was like I would call, like, it wasn't like a crazy dramatic. It was a sweet episode, which I don't think we'll have any more of those this season.
Yeah.
I needed this. It was a palate cleanser. It was a palate cleanser episode for me, at least.
Yeah, I had to remind myself that I guess the focal point of this episode is a happy occasion, because lately we are so used to just darkness. I was when the episode finished, I was kind of waiting for more. I was like, a drink hasn't been thrown, a punch hasn't been swung.
I think looks like that might happen next week. Yeah, because there's another boat, and that's the dramatic boat. So
boats never end well on Bravo, just so you know.
I mean, I think this might be the first time a boat has ended well.
Yeah.
So this one. But that's only because there were 4 cast members on it. So yeah. No. Well, I guess we should get started with, we were left on a cliffhanger last week with Jesse confronting Aaron at a dinner, but apparently we start off with said dinner, but the dinner was with everybody. But apparently Kristen and Luke are late because Luke is stressing out. And I can't tell if Luke was stressing out more about getting engaged or about his grandmother, or if it was the combination of both. Seems like maybe it was a combination of both. So like, I kind of felt bad for the guy, but then I also was like, if the most a man is going to stress out about is getting engaged, I don't have much sympathy. Like Kristen's about to push a baby out of her body. Like that's life or death right there. Like engagement is not. So
yeah,
but his grandma is life or death. So then I give him that. So yeah, I'm not completely heartless. Like, but Jesse was being obnoxious. Like that was interesting. Like the different sides of the table, and like, was it Aaron? Aaron was like, okay, Aaron talks as slow as Michelle.
I hate it.
I noticed that.
I hate it.
Did you notice that too?
I've been trying to figure out what's wrong. I mean, I hope it's not, because those eyes, I know it can be something from a thyroid condition like Graves' disease.
Right.
But given the context of this show and this cast, it could just be substances that kind of make your eyeballs very wide, and you snort them. I'm just saying.
He could also just be that type of person who has that. Those are his eyes. Like
he kind of. Okay, so last season I was talking about how I thought Luke was like a serial killer, just super awkward on camera. Now he's transitioned into like a normal, nice guy. Aaron is super awkward on camera here.
Yeah.
Just like
it's his turn.
Yeah. I'm just like, I was like, this guy's just weird. Like, what is he on? What is he? Because part of me thinks he wants to be on TV, clearly. I mean, he's pushed himself into this. But on the other hand, I'm like, does he know what he's doing? Or what?
Look, I don't think that I would know what I was doing. Like the first,
I
think that's what they always say, that you think that you know until you're actually in the middle of it. So yeah. So if he's not on, if he's not on the same stuff that Jody from Miami allegedly,
that's the good AC.
Yeah, the good AC. If he's not on the good AC, or he doesn't have like thyroid eye disease, then those are just his eyes. Or maybe he just is a deer in the headlights this season. It's just like, I don't know.
I mean, honestly though, I could see two. I mean, but the thing is, anytime we see him, he has those eyes. Because I'd be nervous for this sit down too. Your girlfriend's estranged husband has a bone to pick with you. I would kind of be like,
are always like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't think it was just fear. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
we should invite him on here and ask him to submit to a drug test. We'll say it's for insurance purposes.
I'm sure he would love that. Well. It was interesting because Aaron was like, or in regards to Jesse, Aaron isn't saying that like Jesse displays this quote unquote childish and unwell behavior. And then Jason said, oh, he seems to be doing better over the last year. Mm-hmm. And Michelle was just like, very calmly was like, oh no, it's worse. But in the way that she said that was just like, I felt that very much myself, like, bless your heart, Jason. You have no idea of how bad he really is. And I was like, yeah.
Jason really has a terrible compass, a terrible radar with people. He stands by his wife, Janet.
Which he should. I will give him that. At least, I mean, he picked her. He picked her. So, yeah. But at least he's standing by his wife. So I will say this. You stand by your wife, and I appreciate that.
But, I mean, given the selection, you have his three mains right now are Janet, Jax, and Jesse Lally. And the one he scolds who needs help is Danny Bucco.
Right.
I don't, for a lawyer, I don't trust his judgment.
I wonder if he is a Libra, because he reminds me a bit of Tom Schwartz in that sense. And Tom Schwartz is like a triple Libra of like, Tom Schwartz couldn't kind of make would give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but the horses that he always chose were like the wrong horses to pick, and even like, we didn't understand Katie Maloney for a very long time. But the only difference is that Tom Schwartz did not stand up for Katie, though, in public. At least Jason stands up for Janet in public. So that's a big difference there. But yeah. But at the end, after being just such Jesse at that end of the table, he just wanted like all the attention on himself. You could tell, and he was just being obnoxious. But then at the end, it was like, okay, let me come down here. Let me confront Aaron. But I really loved how the cast was like, should we kind of like stay? And so they did. It seemed like most of the cast stayed to the side of like, let's just make sure that this doesn't get out of hand, which I thought was really like sweet and like camaraderie, no matter I think which side of the aisle you were on.
And like Michelle stayed out of it, which was good, because what you often get in these scenes, like say Jason had to sit down with someone, Janet would have come to stoke the flames and start shouting in.
That's what she already did with Jasmine on the beach.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Michelle, even, who I'm not Michelle's number. I'm not Michelle's number. I thought, it actually went. There weren't punches weren't flown. They attempted to be cordial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so Jesse's mad about this Father's Day post, which on the face of it, hearing it, I go, yeah, I mean, I'm obviously I'm not a parent, so I don't really have a dog in that fight. However, at first I'm kind of like, that's kind of tacky. That's not your kid. But then hearing a little bit more on the after show, I was like, first of all, apparently it was Jesse's weekend with Isabella, but he decided instead to go to a wedding in Cabo. And not spend Father's Day weekend with his daughter. So, okay. He
said he arrived home at noon and had her for the afternoon.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
We didn't hear anything to the contrary or anything confirming that from Michelle in the after shows. So I don't know. But Michelle said though that they spent the day at Aaron's mother's house, like in the pool and kind of having a day. And then Aaron posted a group photo of them on his Instagram. And then she was like, it wasn't a picture of just the two of them. And it wasn't anything specifically about Father's Day. That's what she said. Because it's been taken down though.
It's a spite post.
I think it is a little bit of
I
think it goes both ways.
Right. That's why I always say they deserve each other. I don't think either one is a great person.
You're not gonna spend Father's Day with your own child. Well, I'm gonna.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely. She said, "Put it up."
Yeah.
There's no, and I do have to say, I work in social media, and there are like, especially when it comes to kids, you do want to get the permission. He had it from the mother. I'm not saying he was out of line necessarily. What I'm saying is the intentions were absolutely a spite post to taunt him. So. Which is I respect the move. I'm just saying for them to then act shocked when Lolly comes back and creates even more trouble in their life. Like,
right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then of course, then Jesse's like, basically like, did you have an affair with my wife? Did you cross that line before?
Yeah.
And Aaron said, no. And again, just like that, I don't know. Aaron could be, I feel like Aaron's lying, to be honest with you. But also, I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. Because just like Jesse Lally said afterwards, he's like, well, we have to get over it. I was like, no, you have to get over it. You have to decide. Because he's like, he said, who has a boyfriend after 2 weeks of like breaking up? I said, it's easy. He's like, how do you get that? I said, it's so easy. It's so easy. Like, somebody you've had chemistry with, that you're friends with, and then all of a sudden you're single, and that guy all of a sudden goes, hey, let's go out now that you're single. It happens. Rebounds happen so quickly on both sides. So who knows? But Jesse has to decide for himself.
I honestly think once you filed, as far as like rehashing the cheating and stuff, it's like you do have to let it go. If you were trying to stay in the marriage and work through it. But at this point, you guys have both walked away. So
both walked away, both in relationships. He's found a new girlfriend too.
Yeah.
She's just not on the show. So it's like,
yeah, I agree.
I understand it's a point of pride for him. It's his, some manhood type of thing that it's hit, that basically he's not the one that walked away from her.
Yeah.
But
he seems to be making progress here. I mean, we know it's for surface, but he was, I don't like that. It was, I thought of you when we were watching this week, because last week you said, even if Aaron says they didn't cheat, he's not going to believe him, but I don't believe him either. I don't. The honey thing is weird. I still don't understand. I looked up Aaron's job. I found his LinkedIn or something. Honey isn't. I don't know what's with that honey. He's also like a financial planner, something like that, like the kind who works in a bank. If you need to buy some mutual funds or whatever. I don't know what. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what this honey business is, but maybe we should swing by Runyon and buy a jar and grill him.
Wow. I need to take a walk around my neighborhood and see if I can find his place, since we kind of saw a little bit outside a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You think you know where it is. And I was like, oh shit, I got to take a walk in my neighborhood.
Yeah. I found it, which should be its house, and it is right by Runyon, just as they described. And by the way, I just did I was trying to understand who this guy is, and if she left it, if it was about money. I don't think he's wealthy. I don't know. He lives. His house isn't a house in the Hollywood Hills. It's a rental that's like a house broken up into little apartments. It's not fancy. It's not fancy. It's a rental based on his job and his little honey stand. She must love him because I don't think I don't think it was an issue if she found a richer guy, the way Jesse implied with the prostitution rumors.
Exactly. Well, and speaking of by Runyon in the neighborhood, so later on, or maybe it was that in that conversation, Jesse mentions that there, or maybe it was an after show, that all of a sudden they were taking Isabella to church with Danny and Nia. And he was like, and I was like, well, that is a conversation that you should be having. Granted, this is also coming from Jesse. So I take that with a grain of salt, because this might have been a conversation he's just lying to us. So I don't know. But, and that they had pictures. And the week before, during the show, they showed a picture of Danny and Nia and their kids at church. And I was like, that's Mosaic Hollywood, right around the corner from me. I was like, that's their church. I was like, okay. So then I decided to go look at Michelle's Instagram to see if I could find if they had been at Mosaic. Yes, they have been at Mosaic with Danny and Nia. And I was like, do I need to start going to church to go stalk these people? I walk by Mosaic at least twice a day, because it's across the street from my bus stop. So it's to get to my bus, I walk by it. To get back to my apartment, I walk by it. So it's literally right there.
I think you've just found your calling to chase your God. And by God, I mean Bravo ratings.
The God of Bravo, man. Andy Cohen on the cross up there.
I'll swing by. Shalom.
I wouldn't feel so bad mentioning the name of the church if they didn't tag the name of the church.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If they hadn't tagged the church, then I wouldn't name the church, but they tagged it. So I was like, well, you tagged it, so it's out there. Y'all go there. Anyhow. But all right. The next day. Can I just say the Nia's bed, the spray tan murder? Oh my God. This is why I don't get spray tanned. I'm like, no, I can't. It's too messy. It's too expensive. It's too messy. It's too much upkeep.
Oh, yeah, and it ruins your clothes.
It does.
You can't wear white with it. I mean, really, you don't want to wear anything because it does ruin it. But especially that white outfit is a one wear.
Yeah. No, I'm not rich enough to have a spray tan.
I used to work in my first job was at a dry cleaner, and these women would come in. These women would come in, and I'd be like, "Yeah, the cleaners probably won't be able to get that out, but hopefully, I won't be working that shift when you ask for your order." Yeah, it's all ruined. But yeah. Oh, and this. So the next day, it went right back to last week's episode on here. I caught another Janet moment. She literally said it. She's talking about how when Kristen deflects, and that's why she can't be happy for her, forgive her. She dragged in her marriage. She puts the heat on everyone else. And Janet said, Kristen needs to own it. Yet again. Mm-hmm. She's referencing her decade plus studying that we all know her. Last week was Sniper from the Side, accountability. Now it's Rinna's Own It. It's getting creepy.
Yep. The way she girl, I'm sorry, you cannot jump from an extra on VPR to a cast member on the Valley to Beverly Hills. Absolutely.
I'm waiting for her to start just saying things like Lolly lives in Hollywood, right? Like West Hollywood. Mm-hmm. For him to be like, you are a mean boy in West Hollywood. And while I am here in Valley Village trying to survive. Just like...
Which is for Janet to look at Kristen and go, ooh, you're so angry. Or let's talk about the husband.
Yeah. Oh God, that one will fit.
Eat a piece of bread, Michelle.
We're giving her ideas. She's taking notes.
Probably. Oh. Well, but then also Janet is again making a situation out of Jenna. Again, she's bringing it up. And you could just tell Michelle and Aaron are just over it. They're Michelle even said, she's like, I just want to be in the pool. I don't want to talk about this. Why are you now bringing this up? Mm-hmm. And Michelle even says, I was trying to have a conversation with Kristen and you kept jumping in, Janet, which I thought was very key. I clocked that of basically you were not helping things, Janet. You weren't helping me. You were getting in the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, but no.
Even everyone seems who right now at this stage of the show appreciates Janet's presence. I mean, even the people she yells for, Jasmine got tired of her making the butt grab about herself. Everyone was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, apparently people really aren't because Janet made her Instagram profile private.
She did.
Granted, I'm not here for people bullying people. I think internet trolling is way too hard. People, keyboard warriors.
I mean, she's someone I don't feel bad for. She is literally studying and dreaming of becoming a Bravo villain for so long. She just on the show, it seems, I don't want her to get death threats or anything, but I'm sorry, just like on the show, she can dish it, but she can't take it. She went running. So, I mean, I don't know what people were saying, but with the paycheck comes the heat. With the paycheck comes the pain. Welcome to reality TV.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is true. I did love Benji and Zack moving, preparing for the engagement stuff, starting to pack their shit up to move. But then Kristen comes in and they have to hide the t-shirts and all the the engagement party stuff from her. And then she's like, I'm not going to shower to go on this boat. And they're all kind of oh. Although I will say this, if I didn't know I was going to get engaged, I'm with Team Kristen. why am I going to shower before getting on a smelly boat and going to sweat my ass off? Like,
gross.
I totally understand Kristen's thinking.
No, did you hear what she said? I made a big note about it. She said that you don't need to shower every day if you're swimming in the ocean. Gross.
Well, I feel like she was being a little like dramatic. I feel like that was hyperbole, to be honest with you.
But yeah, no.
I don't. I think she was being hyperbolic about that. But you know, and also it's like you're on vacation. But also she said she was going to shower after it, like after doing all of that stuff. So
really. It was like no.
Yeah, no. She was gonna shower. She was gonna shower.
Scrub those wings, Mariposa. It's like, yeah.
Well, and apparently, as we learned in the after show, like Luke had to get Nia to go in there in the room and convince her to shower and like put on makeup and everything. And they still did it without Kristen figuring out a damn thing. Kudos to them.
Yeah. They really seem to have pulled it off.
They did. And I agree. Look, Brittany was upset that she wasn't in on it, but I'm with Luke in that Luke didn't want her to know because he was afraid that Brittany would let it slip to Jax. And she was like, how would I do that? And I was like, Luke, I'm with Luke. Like, Jax has a hold on her. Somehow it might slip out. Somehow he might get it out of her. And then Jax has got the biggest fucking mouth in North America. Like,
yeah.
He would tell.
Absolutely. Some people I felt I was torn when she said it at first. I was like, no, she meant it as a joke. Because some people were like, I saw some comments that people were saying Brittany's trying to make, was so rude to try to make Kristen's engagement about her. I was like, you watch watch her tone. It was absolutely a joke. She was excited for her.
I mean, yeah, no, she was overall excited for. I don't think she was trying to make it about herself. I do think that she was a little upset that it wasn't, but I also think, as like she said in the after show, with everything that was going on around her in her life that moment, that just kind of heightened her like being a little bit salty about stuff. So yeah, like no, she wasn't. It's not something that she's going to hold against them for forever. Like, oh.
Yeah,
this is horrible. You know, but yeah. But then we get the like 2 seconds of Jax back in LA babysitting his child,
and here he establishes this is now 7 days after he's been released from rehab, and given what they say on the show, or what the way I interpreted the language was that finally he's been out of rehab 7 days and now he's finally seeing Cruz for the first time. Like it took him that long to get around to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Once he can finally, once there's finally a camera crew that's going to be there and document it and show what a good father he is.
Yeah, I wanted to vomit.
Yeah. Gross. I was just like, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye.
You know how you can tell they're a little. This whole episode, I was waiting for the flashback to Jack stealing the sunglasses in Hawaii.
I was too.
It was like the perfect opportunity. They never did.
Well, we still have one more episode. There still might be better timing.
Yeah. Because when Brittany says this is my first trip without Jax in 10 years, I was waiting for the reel to cut back to Hawaii on Vanderpump Rules.
I agree. That would have been the best time to do it. But maybe there's another time, or maybe they're just like, we don't know how to talk about this.
Because it's like same network, same producers, same like they can do that. It was a choice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh. Well, then we have like a second sit down with Jesse and Aaron, but Jason's there this time, and they're eating / drinking shaved ice. And then we get like the concussion story that basically tells us that the only reason that Jesse and Michelle basically got together is that he had brain damage and she felt sorry for him.
Multiple concussions.
I mean, it explains so much.
They did get together. Or they got along better. They were trying to be like bro out, which was a situation like that. I could see Jason's value as like a neutral peacemaker.
Agreed.
Not in conflict. He's like, in my opinion, watching, he can file his own suit against me. In my humble opinion, I don't think he's the best lawyer. Just from what we've seen on TV and his conflicts and his.
Jason Caperna, I did not say that. That was Jordan Ross Myers who said that. You can just come after him personally. Do not come after me or the podcast in general. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But maybe he's a good mediator. Maybe that's where he should turn his attention. But
okay. I'm not gonna go against his profession whatsoever. Dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but no, it was nice. It was pleasant. It was uneventful. We got Aaron tries to ask Jesse about his hockey and they joke. It was very light, very friendly.
There were some like digs that that Jesse seemed to be trying to make at Aaron, and I was like, but dude, you're in a relationship too. Like you seem to be acting like you're the only one, like you're this poor single guy who was like left by his wife, like for another man. You've got another relationship. Like you're in a relationship too. Like you're not all alone. And you seem to like say one thing and then flip flop and go back. And I don't know. It was like, when it comes to anything with them talking to each other, of like, I wrote down that Aaron needs to get receipts. Like he shouldn't call and ask Jesse for permission. He should text and get those things written down, like from Jesse. Like, so it's like, if you've got a question for Jesse and you're going to go directly to him, don't call him, Aaron. Text him. Yeah. Get those receipts. Have those receipts, because Jesse's just going to say, I never said that. I didn't do that. No.
Yeah, that's a good point. Set him up.
Yeah, be a housewife in that sense, Aaron. Learn that.
I wonder if Aaron's going to be. He wasn't seated, but I wonder. Like he wasn't in the official couch lineup, but I wonder if he comes out at any point during the reunion.
Yeah, probably him and like Benji and Melissa probably come out, as like the significant others of cast members. Maybe come out and sit for a second, because they all are kind of playing pivotal roles in some storyline or another.
Yeah.
Benji the least, at least so far, but he's also very new. So,
well, I guess the big thing is, of course, what they all came to Maui for. The engagement.
Finally. Oh my gosh. Dude, Nia was really coming for Kristen for those photos. Was like, come on for these photos. And I'm very much like Kristen in the sense of just like, I got to plan my showers for certain times. So it's like, if I'm going to go get sweaty on a gross boat, like I don't want to shower necessarily beforehand, but then Nia had me too of like, I don't want to take pictures I'm like, Kristen, I don't want to take pictures all the time, but I will be upset that I didn't have pictures taken later on. So it's like, so if somebody else takes the pictures, I'm like, yeah, I'm here for it. So it's like, but it is funny that Kristen almost missed her proposal, because she almost like self-sabotaged her proposal by taking her time and not wanting to shower, and then literally sitting on his duffel bag, like sitting on the ring. Like Princess in the motherfucking pea right there. Luckily could not feel the ring underneath her butt.
And it was all for what? Fantasy football. She had a fantasy football draft.
Priorities. Well, I'm not into fantasy football. I appreciate that though. I appreciate it, Kristen.
Oh my God. I actually got excited for them when it was right, like those few seconds before, where I felt like I was part of the team, you know, like I'm like, okay, and they're finally like, just turn the F around, Kristen, and look at these goddamn whales or dolphins. And then finally, yeah, he did it, and he dropped to a knee, and I was like, yeah, it's happening.
She's like, what the fuck? I thought that was brilliant. And then she's like, I'm kind of sad I said that. And I was like, no, I think that's perfect, Kristen.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Kristen would say. But when he's like, will you be my catch of the lifetime? I was like, that's love. That is true love, Luke, that she still said yes. And had your baby after you said that cheesy line. But but it also like, he didn't know what he was going to, he was overwhelmed. And I was crying. I'm not going to lie. I was crying. I was like, this is so sweet. She's got her happy ending.
It melted it slightly melted. It defrosted my cold black heart. And I was really, I felt like maybe because as a viewer for so many years, for all of us, not just me, I mean, I really felt like I was on the boat trying to get it all to go smoothly with them. I was like, yes. Big cheering them on. Invested.
Literally, she made her own drama of like getting to that finish line. Like she had no idea how hard she was making it for everybody.
Nia's really good with these. She would be a good teacher, like elementary school teacher. The way she gently, sweetly guides these childlike adults.
She's so good. She has such patience. This is when I go, you know what? There are different. I was explaining to a friend of mine that there are different levels of how involved production gets involved in reality television shows. Like different shows have different levels and stuff like that. But this is a perfect example of how reality really does unfold in a lot of these shows without production getting in the way. Like that tension was really built. You just also have editing helping tell the story a little bit quicker too, and like building it up a bit. But it's just like, this was happening and I love it. I was like, yes. Oh my gosh. And then you have Zack and Benji literally like moving all their stuff, moving Luke and Kristen's stuff into the presidential suite for that, which I just thought was so sweet. I don't think you could get me to do that, to be honest with you. Again, Zack is a great friend.
He is. Think about all he's done. He was the only one who stood up to Jax the other day, or the other episode at the party at Lolly's. I mean, he's done this. He like picks people up at the airport. I mean, he's like, he's there. He is. Oh, the t-shirts, he really is there for everyone.
Yeah. He probably paid extra for that luggage to get to Hawaii. Like, with all their stuff, like that was probably an extra $50 or $75, that he paid, plus on top of like paying for all of that stuff too. Like,
so something I want to keep an eye on. This is a side note, but it's about Zack for next season. Something I've noticed is he drives a CRV, a Honda CRV, and I think Jasmine drives a Hyundai. And now they'll be going into this repeat seasons where they make more money. I want to see what their lifestyle glow up is. You know what I mean? He got into that's not like some accurate. I'm just like, I'm curious because like we're growing with him. These are regular people. Like Zack and Jasmine aren't housewives coming on. So now that he's like foot, and I'm saying he deserves it really, but he has his foot in the door. He's going to start making real Bravo money. I wonder like how things are going to change.
Well, I think they should take a page out of probably Kristen's financial playbook as opposed to Jesse Lawley's financial playbook.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jesse Lawley's financial playbook, as soon as Jesse found out that they were getting engaged, his idea of like, let's get 5,000, hibiscus flowers and like roses and like put them all over the place. And it was like, no wonder you're broke, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what's your deal with the number 5,000 too? Like $5,000 bottles of wine, 5,000 hibiscus flowers. Like, no. Oh my gosh. That was very like grandiose and narcissistic. Like, look at me. I got you all these flowers.
Yeah, he definitely likes things nicer than the other people. He definitely. This isn't like, really the right cast for him in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, well, but I also feel like, again, like going back to previous episodes of ours of like, it's a trying to be better than them. Like that I'm a higher level of like rising above. His station isn't the right thing, but like trying to
separate himself from the others.
Yeah, trying to separate himself from the others, pretending to not be who he was.
Yeah. And also too, like I'm thinking working where he works now. By the way, I looked into that. Michelle and him still do have a listing together. An active listing together, but it's like a super expensive home that's been on the market forever. So like probably so, but they are still in business, but also too in the sector of real estate they work in, which is very, very high end. And they worked for the Hiltons and all that in real estate. I think he's in more of a housewife mindset of aesthetics, but he's on a show that is a little bit more Vanderpump Rules. So like,
yeah, him and Jason are the same in that sense.
Jason. Yeah.
No, him and Janet. Sorry, I meant him and Janet are the same in that sense. Like they think that they should be on housewife shows.
Yeah,
that they should be on that caliber. And it's like, well, you're not though.
Yeah. So. Jesse does kind of act like he's slumming it with these guys. So he's trying to class up the proposal.
Well, and there's also that thing of like at least what I've seen on real estate shows is that you like to be in high-end real estate, you've got to project an image of like high-end. But some people, it seems to be that they get into trouble of like overspending to try to seem like they are the same or the equivalent of their clients, but you're not the equivalent of your clients.
Yeah.
You don't. And I don't think that's actually what your clients want, to be honest with you. Rich people always want to feel that they're better than you. So like they just want to feel that you're the right level for them, but not of their level. You're not a peer. You're not a peer.
Yeah. They don't want it. It would be awkward if they were buying directly from their best friends or their neighbors.
Yeah, no. But whatchamacallit? Well, then Zack starts calling everybody and telling them, and we've kind of already talked about Brittany was a little salty over not knowing. But when Jason told Janet and Michelle, granted, we didn't see Janet's face right away, but we saw Michelle's. Michelle seemed genuinely happy for them. Like she had this quite what I feel was like a big smile for her on her face.
Oh, Michelle. Yeah.
Because
there's going to be like, Janet did. This is where Jason. So obviously we know Jason overhears Zack telling Brittany. That was kind of convoluted. I need to see a map of the rooms and who is staying with who to understand that. And he runs and tells them, and Janet's like, we're out.
I feel like two ways about it. I do think it was like mature of Janet to say, well, we shouldn't go to this thing because I'm not in a good place with them. That's probably not the right place. Like she probably wouldn't want to see me then, which I actually think was the right call. But then later on, just about 5 minutes later, immediately then Janet's kind of making it about herself, like making it dramatic of like, well, they wouldn't talk, like she wants to like leave entirely. Like, I don't think I want to like spend time with them tomorrow. Like, I don't think I want to do anything tomorrow. And like the fact that like we're not invited to this thing. And Chase was like, it's not that we're not invited. Like you just said.
This is where, in my mind, she was trying to twist. She was twisting words and trying to make herself the victim in this engagement. She it was this Jason stood up to her and said, because she said, like, we're not invited. And he's like, no, don't say that or whatever. She immediately was like, we're not going. And then she's telling people they were disinvited and excluded. That's the kind of wannabe housewives, Fox Force, Rinna that she's going for.
Yep. Yeah. And it's like, no, she just wants drama.
Do you think Jason got in trouble back at home for standing up to her?
Maybe.
And then when she said, we're not going tomorrow either, he said, come on, don't say that.
Like, well, and then he was like, I didn't take off work to like do this. Like,
yeah. She was trying, in my opinion, in that moment, she was trying to steal the spotlight back once again over to her. From even, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
And then they go to the presidential suite, and then the way that, like, the whole group like surprised her, that was really nice. That made me cry again. Like,
oh yeah,
they were all together except for minus Janet and Jason, and they were all there wearing the shirts and surprising them, and I thought that was super sweet. And I was like, oh, yay. Yeah. It looks like next week we've got boat drama. We've just got lots of boat drama. I'm excited for it. Janet acting like an asshole yet again.
One thing that it was like literally one of the last moments of this episode that I wish they would have asked Brittany to clarify. Maybe she has in other interviews, but on the after show is in her confessional. You know, she's so excited for Kristen and Luke, and she says, as someone who's been married, engaged before and married before and going through a divorce, listen to your gut. And I wanted to ask, did she have doubts about Jax back then? This is totally rewinding a decade ago on Vanderpump Rules, but it's something she hasn't admitted to until as we're seeing their marriage fall apart. But that was, I clocked that. I was like, you mean sweet, what did they call her? Kentucky Muffin?
Yeah.
Who stood by her man? Is she finally saying back then she knew there was an issue? That's for the longtime viewer to think about. I just was like,
well, I don't know how she didn't. He cheated on her multiple times. Like,
raw in hell.
I mean, there were so many red flags before they got married.
I just wanted to hear her admit to it, that even back then when she was, I was like, wow.
I hope that she does, because I just think it's important, not for us as viewers to say we told you so, but I think to be able to allow somebody to admit that, like, I didn't listen to my gut, or I just thought I wanted these certain things out of life, and so I didn't listen to my friends and family and my gut and myself. Like, I was just determined, or I just listened to the person who I thought I was in love with, and I listened to their lies. I let their lies like overshadow what I knew was right and wrong. And I think that's just important, because if we just keep saying that, oh, you should have known, then we're not teaching people how to learn how to know. And so I think it's important. And I hope that she would, not as a gotcha moment for any of us, though. So yeah, that's my sentimental, mature way of looking at it. I know you hate that, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sweet and you're sour. That's how we're like a Sour Patch Kid in that sense.
I want to know the moment, because she's starting, obviously now she's filed for divorce, we know, but it's just when did she realize it? Because she's only now beginning to admit, and what she said there by someone who's been engaged, listen to your gut. I was like, did her doubts go all the way back to the beginning, or was it at some point in the marriage after Cruz went? So, I mean, she could have, unless she bailed on him the first day she ever met him, mistakes were made. So it doesn't really matter if it goes back 5 seasons but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I was gonna say, you know what a great instinct you guys should follow? Really listen to your gut. Listen to your pod. Is to just click subscribe. That's true. That is not a mistake. It's the best decision you will ever make.
Look, it's not even a lifetime commitment. No. And there's no legal involvement. You just click subscribe and you get gifts. You get gifts of episodes just dropped right there in your Spotify playlist, in your Apple Podcast playlist. If you hit that notification bell on YouTube, oh my gosh, it just notifies you when we drop a new episode. It's amazing. I love it. I love it every day.
And make sure to follow us everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. You could watch us on YouTube. MySpace, LiveJournal, and Tumblr. Coming your way.
Always.
Who wants to say aloha?
Aloha.